Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Last Homely House. It's the beginning of February here. It's really cold outside, hovering around about 0 degrees, about freezing. And so it's a really cold day, so I've lit the fire and I'm going to settle down here and do some stitching. I've got a really interesting project I want to show you in a minute. But before I do that, here at the beginning of the year, it's my birthday. And I've just turned 70. And don't you think that those birthdays with a nought on are always a little bit more special than the ordinary ones? So last year being 69 was either here nor there, but now I'm 70. It feels quite momentous. And I'm thinking about the shape of this year and some of the things that I might do. No big things, I've got no big things planned. When I turned 60, I remember, I didn't have a YouTube channel then, and I remember that I set myself 60 challenges to do in that year, all sorts of things. Like I finished every unfinished project that I had. I also learned how to spin, because I'd always wanted to do that. I did some other things as well. And I don't think I got to 60, but I had a really great year planning and thinking about all these different things. Some were craft related, some weren't. I went for a walk with my brother, a long coastal walk. That was really nice. So I was thinking about my 70th year and wondering, am I going to do 70 things in this year? And I don't think I really want to commit myself to 70 things in what is actually not even 70 weeks, is it? Not even one a week. So instead of that, I think I'm going to spend some time thinking about the things that I really want to do. And that might be learning a new skill, or I've got a couple of trips planned this year with my family, which I'm really excited about. So I'm looking forward to them later in the year when it starts to be really nice weather. And so I think for me, what I'd like to do is just take stock and think about what it is to be 70 is quite old. I remember when my mum was 70 and I was 40, because she was 30 years older than me, and I remember thinking, that's really old. I made her a birthday cake and we celebrated her 70th birthday, and it just felt like a really old thing to be 70. But here I am now, and I can't quite believe I am, because I don't feel it at all. But what does that actually mean, what I feel 70? I don't know. I'm going to do some interesting things this year, but some of them will be for me and some of them I'll bring you along for the ride as well. But this project that I want to introduce to you now, this one, I may not finish it this year. I think you all know by now, don't you, that I love starting projects and finding out how things work and how will those materials behave like this. I love doing that. And sometimes I'll get a finish. Like with the weaving, I got a finish with the weaving. Maybe you saw that video just recently. But sometimes I don't get a finish, and sometimes it takes a long time to get to that point of finishing something. And I'm fine with that. So if you're someone who worries about starting a new thing when you've got 6 things still to finish, I'm gonna give you permission. I'm gonna let you off the hook. This project then, I wonder if you remember the video that I made with my son John, where it was the wall hanging, it's not a quilt, that I'd made 10, 15 years ago, which is the map of the UK, the map of the British Isles, a map of England, Scotland, Wales and Southern Ireland and all of that. And John came back and helped me put the grid lines on that map. I really enjoyed doing that with John. He helped me design that map. And during that video, he said, you know, Mum, the reason why this doesn't work is because the size of the hexagon is too big, so you can't do subtle changes in coastlines and so on. And he said, why don't you make a smaller one? So I am. I've got some 1/2-inch hexagons. The way that you measure a hexagon is by measuring along the edge of one side. So that's a 1/2-inch. The hexagons on the pink map are 1-inch hexagons. These are 1/2-inch. And what I've talked to John about this. What we're going to do, I'm going to sit and baste a lot of these shapes here. I'm going to use Liberty Tana Lawn again because these are very small, they're very fine stitches I'm going to be doing to put these together. And quilting weight cotton, I would have managed that, but the Tana Lawn's so delicate and so light, it's beautiful. And so that's what I'm using for these little hexagons. Here we go, look, they're so tiny. And I've got this box here. I'm going to show you this box as well. This is, actually this is a box that I brought back from Amsterdam 15 years ago or so. And it's always had little trinkets in, but now it's got all my 1/2-inch hexagons. So I'm going to be carrying on doing this. I like to have a project that I can sit here in the evening and just do a few bits of stitching. Maybe I can do some knitting or crochet or whatever, but I like to be busy with my hands. I think I can't even imagine sitting here and not doing something with my hands. So this has been a lovely, lovely project to start with over the winter. And I've got this little pot here. Everything about this project is small. That's what I'm really enjoying about it. The box is full of hexagons, it's tiny, everything's small. And this is a little fabric bowl that I made, and I actually made this from a tutorial that Anne Wood sells, this tutorial. It's a really lovely little fabric bowl, I love it. It's tweed on the outside, and it's, what is it on the inside? It's Indian block printed scraps on the inside. So of an evening then, all I need to do is pick up this little basket, this little pot, have some of these hexagons. I bought these ready-made so that they're accurate and they're much easier to stitch onto, because then the accuracy of cutting paper templates, they just would not be accurate enough if I cut them myself. So I'm going to show you my setup here then and stitch a few hexagons with you. So I think what I'm going to enjoy about this project is going to be another opportunity to work with John again, because he and I have talked about this. He's really excited about doing the design of this, and I'm just going to let him do it 100%. We were talking about it the other day. So far I'm using a lot of blue fabrics, lots of different shades of blue. And if you remember the first map that I did, it was pinks and reds, and the sea was all pink, the same fabric. And John and I were talking about this the other day, and it was, I don't really want to do pink sea again. I mean, we could. We were talking about maybe doing the whole of the land in all different shades of blues, lovely little variations of blue. So when he does this, he'll be able to get the topography, you know, get the highlands and so on with the darker colours, and I think so. I think he's going to enjoy designing this. But then the sea, I'm not sure. The jury's out on how I'm going to do the sea. It may have to be pink. I don't know, but you'll know by the time we're doing that. You'll know. But then the second thing now to worry about is I can't put this onto my design board and have it take up my design board for months and months, which is what this is going to be, because I need that design board all the time for all the different projects that I do. So I've been thinking about how to store this and have John help design this. And what I thought was I might make a dedicated design board that we can perhaps store out in the porch or in the sitting room or somewhere and just bring it out when John needs to use it. So I think if that's the route I go down, then I'll show you how I make that design board. I'll show you how I do that. A lot of people ask me about the design board and how I made it. So maybe I'll do that. But for now though, I'm just going to cut some more of these. This is, I bought a charm pack of blue Liberty Tana Lawn, and they're 5 inches square, and you can get loads of these little tiny hexagons from this, loads. So I'm just going to cut along here, trying to have as little waste as possible. And what I'm really enjoying is that when I cut these here, I'm just cutting them onto the hearth so that when I sweep those up, they go straight into the fire. Makes the hearth look really pretty. So that's one of my big plans for this year, is to work on this one. I've got some other things that I want to do that aren't quite so, this one's going to be very time consuming, that aren't quite so time consuming. I've got a project that I'm doing with, I have my 2 grandchildren, Emil and Agnes, their daddy Adam. He and I are hopefully doing a project together as well, which I think is going to be really interesting if we manage to do that one. We were talking about it just yesterday. So that's something that I hope you'll be as excited about as I am when we do that project. What else have I got on the go? Well, as I say, I've got a trip away in the summer, and maybe there'll be some little bits of posts about that when we go abroad. It's going to be lovely. So I'm going to just carry on and base some of these hexagons now. I might make another pot of tea and get that on the go, and see how we end up with that. Now you see that's brown, see. It's in the, I'm not going to make brown ones. That's not blue, is it? That won't do. I'm just going to make blue ones. It's a fantastic way of using up tiny little scraps of fabric. So that's what I'm going to do now then. Stitch a few more of these and then see if we can get John across to do some designing. This then is the perfect way to get out of your head and into your hands, which is something I've really been enjoying doing with the spinning I've been doing and the weaving, and now this project here. I'm a thread baster. I know there are people who are glue basters, but I enjoy thread basting. But as I'm basting these, I'm thinking that taking the papers out of these is going to be quite an interesting occupation, because the way that I do English paper piecing, I leave all my papers in until I'm finished. Because I don't know why I do that, but maybe you could say what you do in the comments, because I think I'm fairly unique in doing that. I just feel like the whole piece keeps its structure and its integrity, and the reason why I've always explained why I do that is that the piece won't drag. If you take the papers out, then where the stitches are next to each other with no papers in, while you're working on it, it might be under stress. But I'm not sure I'm right about that. Maybe we could have a bit of a debate about that on the lime green sofa, please. I'm going to leave the papers in though, and then I think down the line, when this is finished, taking the papers out is going to be quite a mission. But for now, it's just so much fun. So much fun. And when you've got everything to hand with a small project like this, it's just brilliant. So, thank you so much for watching this slow video. This is definitely slow stitching. I hope whatever you're doing, firstly you're staying warm, secondly you've got a helpful cat or dog snuggled up with you, if that's your thing. But also you're not going to worry about the result. I always think this about projects, it's the process rather than the end product. I've said that for years, that I love getting an end product, I really do. I love it when there's a finish. But I almost love the process more than I love the end product. Because when this is finished, which will be a long, long time, that'll be finished, won't it? Just enjoy doing it. So I'm giving you permission, if you need it, to take your time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here again soon with something else. I'm kind of enjoying the idea of being 70. It's a shock and a surprise, but I'm kind of enjoying it. And I'll see you soon with something else. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And sometimes people say, oh Kate, where are your videos? I haven't seen them in a long time. And the simplest way around that is just to put your notifications on when you subscribe. Subscribing is absolutely free. There's no finance involved with this one at all. So just hit that subscribe button, put your notifications on, and then you will know when I'm going to be back here. And definitely leave me a comment about your English paper piecing thoughts. And I'll see you soon.